Use that big mouth of yours. Do something about it.
Yo,
Your mouth. Yeah.
get the out of here.
Well, I'm definitely going to break this one down, but let's first dig a little deeper into what exactly happened.
Massachusetts is charged with attempted murder for allegedly trying to drown a 21-year-old on crutches after a residency dispute. Our CBS News Boston station has more on the story.
Police say that 70-year-old suspect was upset with a group of young men for using this lake, which is only for Hopkinton residents during the summertime. Police say the suspect attacked a 21-year-old man who is on crutches. The whole thing was caught on camera, and we do want to warn you, it's disturbing to watch.
Mouth. Yeah.
Get the
This video, recorded by one of the victim's friends, shows 70-year-old Stephen Dana slapping Matthew Duffy across the face twice, then forcing his head under the water. According to court paperwork, Dana held his head below the surface for 10 seconds before the victim's friends pull him off. Investigators say Dana was angry the victim and his friends were not Hopkinton residents and were jet skiing on the lake. Words escalated to violence. Dana was arrested at his home near the lake, and yesterday he was in court. He's facing charges of attempted murder, strangulation and suffocation, and assault and battery on a disabled person. Duffy is on crutches, recovering from a bad motorcycle accident.
He shoved my head under and was not letting me breathe. I just knew I couldn't use either of my arms or my leg as they were both broken, and it was just praying that he either let go or my friends pulled him off of me.
Hopkinton police say if residents are concerned about the town's laws, they need to contact authorities and not take matters into their own hands. The suspect is due back in court today.
Just like that. MickeyWithCarryTrainer.com. Let's break this down a little bit. Now, I know some of you watched this video and you said, hooray for the old guy. And some of you said, oh, that poor young man. Emotions run wild in these situations. So let's see if we can take our emotions and set them on the shelf for a minute and look at this level-headed with facts, logic, and reason. Every single time one of these things now makes the news, it seems like there are some boxes that get checked or not checked that lead to somebody ruining their life, getting famous for doing something stupid, dying, or just putting themselves in jail or handcuffs. Let's not do those things. So let's break it down. In this situation, these young men, and they're not kids, they are young men in their 20s, are trespassing. They are on a private lake that is owned by residents, and it's clearly marked that it is for residents only. Mr. Stephen Dana, the gentleman in the video that appears on the bank, sounds like he's doing the right thing. He approaches these guys to tell them, hey guys, it's been enough. Get out of here. You're not allowed to be here. Why do I say that's the right thing? Every cop I know talks about going on calls constantly. Neighbors got too loud a radio. The dog's barking. Somebody's out working on their motorcycle early in the morning or late at night. And people call 911 or call non-emergency because they just don't want to be uncomfortable and deal. A lot of people could just walk to the fence and say, hey neighbor, I appreciate that you're having a party. Could you turn it down just a little bit? My kids are trying to sleep, or whatever the thing is. That doesn't mean you have to walk over there and scream at them, but it would be good if we had the ability to communicate. And it sounds like Stephen started out trying to do that. Second failure point. These young men were where they were not supposed to be. I have an uncle that told us as kids, never do more than one wrong thing at a time. If you're screwing around and you're caught where you're not supposed to be, apologize, grab your little toy boat and leave. That's not a hard thing. All right, man, sorry. We were trying to have some fun. We'll go find somewhere else to run our watercraft. Instead, they doubled down and ran their suck. Number 3, don't assume for a second because somebody looks like your granddad, he won't put the beat down on you. And now, this started out with a situation I have seen unfold in my youth numerous times. This guy could have hurt him. He used that open hand, boom, boom, to kind of teach him a lesson, in my opinion. I don't know this dude, but that's what it looked like to me. It was him saying, look, young buck, shut your mouth. And then it looked like he went to the danger zone. He saw red and just frickin' snapped. I don't think any of that should have happened. What should have happened is he told the boys to leave. They wouldn't. He should have just went and called the police and said, hey, we got some trespassers, and probably got a citation issued so that maybe they'd have reason to not want to keep coming here and playing with their little toy boat. That's me being condescending for a reason. Next lesson. Every time something like this happens, somebody allows their ego, and in this case, both of them, to get the better of them. Come make me. Oh, you want me to make you? What's the goal? Young men trying to have a good time, play with their toy boat. Older dude wants to enjoy peace and quiet. He's earned his house on the lake. Both of them want to be right in this situation. Neither of them want to lose face. The goal is play with your boat, enjoy the backyard peacefully. Now one of you's on the news for beating up a young guy. One of you's on the news for getting your ass beat by a grandpa when you're 20-something years old. Neither of them are a good look. One of them landed a guy in handcuffs. I'll add to that. If you are diminished with broken bones, as this young fella called out, I've got broken bones, how dare you? Don't goad an old man into coming and squaring up with you. Maybe you should think a little bit more clearly. Now, part of me, the grandpa side of me, and I can admit this, looks to those old days where maybe some of that street justice makes sense. Maybe these situations would be less prevalent if some street justice was dished out. But in this modern world, it is too easy to become famous. It is too easy to be drugged through the courts, and we do not live in the Old West. Thus, I must realize the world that I live in and play according to those rules, or move somewhere that has rules that I like, or go where there's no people. But understanding that if I make a choice like this, I can't claim self-defense. If I square up with the dude and strike him, self-defense is out the window. Make good choices. Make choices that take us to the desired end state, the goal. Don't be afraid to call the cops. I've done it, and it's not because I'm a coward. It's because I really don't want to ruin my life over somebody that's making wrong choices. A lot of people don't want to go talk to their neighbor because they don't want to be looked at like they're a punk for not wanting somebody to have fun. They don't want to call the cops, though, because they don't want to be looked at like they're a punk for being afraid to just have a conversation. So this is a system-wide problem where we can't just communicate, which comes back to the number one rule of not being a dickhead. Respect the old guy. You're on private property. Take your little boat and go home. Respect the young bucks for wanting to have some fun. Maybe don't humiliate them by putting them down, and instead let the cops do their job, write them the citation, and everybody goes home, and now you're not on the news. I think the big scheme of things is if we really are just trying to get through life and enjoy it, we have to accept that other people are like us. They're ruled by emotions. They have had bad days where they're fed up and are not going to take it anymore. And when we know that, we can make choices accordingly where we don't walk ourselves down a path where we either are checking the boxes that are going to take us into that danger zone, or we're not checking the boxes that are going to protect us from legal or violent harm. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. Hope this conversation helps. I'd love to see you guys at class. We've got Washington State, Pennsylvania still on the calendar, Tennessee, and a couple other points in between. Training at carrytrainer.com. Gunfighter Gun Oil is our in-house American-made synthetic lube, grease, and cleaner. And then, of course, we've got Ignis Lux Coffee. Ignis Lux is Latin for firelight. It denotes that fire that burns inside of us. I hope that you've got one burning bright inside of you today. See you soon.